This 1973 BMW 3-liter CS is an absolute work of art. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean like it's an actual work of sculptural art. I remember as a kid I had a model of one on my dresser, and I absolutely idolized that shark nose that came to be synonymous with BMWs of the era. You know, in and out, the details, the design work, the shapes, everything about this car, from head to toe, in and out, it's just filled with beautiful design elements. Even the font on the word automatic, I could look at it all day. Beautiful actresses from the 60s and 70s often have the words style and grace associated with them. But this car, it's the very definition of style and grace. You know, one of the things I love about cars in general from this era, but particularly this car, is how thin the A and C pillars are. You'll never repeat the elegance of a car like this. You know, in modern cars we think of design language, but when this car was designed, Wilhelm Hofmeister actually wrote the book. Elements like fenders that wrap around into the nose, you don't see that on modern cars. You know, modern mass production requirements, render it absolutely impossible. BMW sort of established its motorsports credentials in the European Touring Car Championship with this car. You know, in these 3-liter CS street cars, available as carbureted or fuel-injected 3-liter inline sixes, man, they make a sweet noise. Perfect amount of intake honk and exhaust roar. Now, you could get these cars with smaller engines and less interior features, but man, if you're gonna buy one of these to collect it, get a beauty. Get a fast one. Get a nice car. It's kind of become in vogue to put nardy wood-rimmed steering wheels in just about anything, but man, this is the car that a wheel like that is designed to live in. You know, I'm friends with a lot of car collectors, and it seems like a lot of people, get into a specific era and then they only have cars from that era. But when you look at a car like this, you are going to fall in love with the details. There's just beauty everywhere. Even just the glint off the gauge faces. I think collecting in one era exclusively will find you missing out when each time period captures a different moment, captures a different feeling, a different emotion, a different time. If you take anything away from this series and you're really a car collector, I would just encourage you to branch out. A lot of people I see, they have 10, 15 modern cars, but nothing classic, nothing timeless. Karmann Coachworks has built some pretty special cars, but the E9 Coupe by BMW is one of Karmann Coachworks' finest hours. I think the E9 platform is one of the most underrated upcoming collectibles out there. In terms of the driving experience of one of these vintage German cars, and I would even include the 2002 in this, it's a departure from a modern car. Obviously the chassis is less rigid, but modern German cars have become so much about absolute grip and about, absolute cornering forces. This car has a slightly lazier gait that I actually really enjoy. Even though this car rides on Alpina wheels, and has more aggressive rubber, it's still more supple than a modern car, but doesn't lose anything in that. It's still very tactile, still a beautiful car to spend a day in.
its Hofmeister kink to the spindly A and C pillars, this is the icon of pillarless coupe.
You know, this car brought you the Hofmeister kink. It brought you the shark nose. It is as BMW as it gets. Prices on these based against its peers from the era are ridiculously low. If you're into BMWs, now's the time. They're not going to build any more, and they're not going to get any cheaper.